I'm Padma Venkatram, and I am delighted that my book, The Bridge Home, is Rhode Island's selection for the Library of Congress's Great Reads for Great Places. The Bridge Home came to me the way that all my books come to me, as a voice, the voice of one sister speaking to another sister. I had no idea why the girls were apart, but I knew they loved each other, and so I had to find out what had happened to them. And I followed the voice, and that story became The Bridge Home. It was a story of two girls who ran away from an Indian village and ended up homeless in an Indian city, where luckily they find two boys who become their friends, adopt a little dog, and live on an abandoned bridge, and for a while they have that sense of friendship and found family. Then something happens that's awful, and then they're driven away to a graveyard. When I came to that scene about that graveyard in my book, I remembered something. I had a friend called Indra when I was a child, and she had been forced to live in a graveyard, to hide in a graveyard for a little while. And I know that even though I'm quite old now, as you can see by the grey hair on my head, and I'm a scientist, I don't believe in ghosts, not during the day anyway. I don't think I'd be able to live an entire night in a graveyard all alone. And yet my friend did that. And she told me her story, and when she was telling me her story, she said to me, "Padma, will you write this one day?" Because she knew I wanted to be a writer. I was always scribbling in little notebooks, and I promised that I would. And this book, The Bridge Home, is that promise I gave her.
What is your favorite thing about this book?
My three favorite things about The Bridge Home are, first, that there's a lot of humor in the book. The book is about homelessness and homeless children and lots of serious things, but it's still full of laughter, because I think that's one of the most important things that I learned as a child, was that you can get through trauma if you preserve your sense of humor. My second most favorite thing about the book is that it's written in direct address, second person, which is quite a challenge as an author, and very few books are written that way, so it's quite unusual. My third and most favorite and most important thing about The Bridge Home is that it has changed children's lives for the better and made a positive impact on so many children around the world, and that is a gift more than anything I could have hoped for.
What is your favorite place to visit in your state?
My favorite place to visit in the state of Rhode Island is the Tomaquac Museum, which celebrates our state's indigenous culture.
What is your favorite landmark?
My favorite landmark in Rhode Island is the University of Rhode Island's Graduate School of Oceanography, where scientists work round the clock to help save our oceans and our planet and the people who live in it.
There are official state birds. There are official state trees. Is there an official state donut?
Rhode Island doesn't have an official donut, but apparently it has an official fruit that's called a greening apple. So I think Rhode Island's donut should be a donut that is flavored like apple cake and has green icing for the greening apple and is topped with a gummy worm. So we have a worm in the greening apple donut.